So we're attaching the back jacket to the collar.
Our front pieces. So we've got our front here, see the front armhole, front shoulder. This is the back neck. So when we sew this in place, and it looks a bit weird at the moment because the collar's attached, so we're just going to get the facing bit out of the way. So that'll get sewn onto the actual
lining.
Actually, I don't have my back here. Sorry, hold
on. Okay, Mark is back with the back.
Now I'm just drawing. You can see here, all we have is this is our shoulder here. So you can see the armhole and the shoulder. And we have a 1 centimetre seam here
on the shoulder,
but our back neck is only 6 mil. So I've actually drawn in some lines there to indicate the differences between the two seam allowances. Some of you may have had this as a 1 centimetre seam allowance, but there's only 6 mil on the block because this is based on the menswear casual jacket block. So I've drawn in those lines on each side. This is our centre back here, and on the, and again just so that you can see, I'm just drawing these on.
This is on the back
on here.
Of the jacket back.
So this is our back armhole, our back shoulder, our back neck. So just as a reference, so you can see I'm drawing in some points here.
So 1 centimetre on the shoulder, 6 mil on the neckline.
6 mil on the neck, yeah. So I'm literally just drawing in the seam allowance, and it's because so that you've got those definite points there, and I've also got a notch for my centre back as well. Okay. So what we can do here, we've got this drawn, but remember, like on the pre-cut jacket, we also did a stay stitch. So all I'm doing here is just following that line, and the fact that I've got it drawn means that I can be very accurate with my stitching and make sure that I get like right into that corner when I turn the corner there. You can see that there?
Yeah.
Yep. And then down here. Okay, so I've got a nice sharp corner there for when I clip into that corner. So that will open up, and I'll show you in a minute how that applies to the back of the garment.
And you did that on the front of the jacket, not the facing.
Yeah, we will do the same thing on the facing, but at the moment it's actually the bigger pieces that I'm attaching to the back. Now what we'll do here, we'll lay out the back. So this is just our back of the garment. There's our back neck here, shoulders here. So when we lay this on top, just to show you the way that it goes together, obviously we need the right sides together. So you can see my floral cloud motif there. So what's going to happen is that we're going to start, and there's the corner that I've clipped into. So this is my centre back of my collar. This is my front shoulder here. You can see the front armhole going up to the shoulder. So what we're going to do is we're going to start at the armhole here. We're going to sew across. We're going to match up that point there with the point that we've clipped into. And then we have to swing the neckline around here from that corner point so that the centre back collar matches up with the centre back notch, around to the other shoulder, and then down here. So actually sewing all the way across in one go, using, and obviously we've clipped in here so we can turn that around and actually work around those corners.
So shoulders.
So this is the shoulder at the armhole. Do a back tack. I've got a 1 centimetre seam. Match up that point there, and you can see where I've done that there, so matching that up. And you can put pins in here, of course, if you need to. If you're using a really bulky fabric, again, it might be a good idea to have, you can have a 1 centimetre seam allowance around these neck pieces, because you might lose a bit as you're sewing in a really bulky fabric. So I've just twisted that around the corner, and then I'm matching the center back here. And the this undercollar, for the shape, you can see that the lines here, so it's gone onto the bias. So make sure that you don't stretch this, stretch the undercollar as you're sewing it on. Match up your points here. So be nice and gentle with it. Corner. Twist it around. I'm going to match up the other end there, so we know where we're working towards. And switch there. Okay. And so you can see here. So there's my shoulder. So this is on the outside now. Obviously, 'cause you can't see any seam allowances. My shoulder up to the shoulder neck point, around to the back neck, over to the other corner here, and then along the shoulder back to the armhole again. And this would sit on the body as that goes over the shoulder there. This folds back, that collar folds back and covers up that line. So you can see how that would work on the body. Okay, so now we just need to do exactly the same thing again. We've got like I explained, my on the floor here. My back neck piece. So this could be in lining. If it was in lining, you'd have a pleat here. This could be like a back yoke shape. If it was longer, it could be a half lining piece. So this is just sort of indicative of a piece that that you need to fill in the back neck. So I'm just going to, I haven't marked these, but I'm just going to do my stay stitches
on the facing.
On the facing corner bits here. So I've got 1 centimetre and 6 mil. That again, you measure them if you like to, and you can do this on the 12. I mean, it depends on the real fabric as to whether you can actually draw lines on the fabric. And some woolen fabrics will just be too thick; you won't be able to draw on them with anything anyway, even chalk. So that's the good thing about doing having the stay stitch. So 6 mil on the neckline, 1 centimetre on the shoulder, and we'll put into those points there. Alright, again, right sides together, so you can see the print there for the right side. Now the reason you'll see that this is my facing. I only have a short facing, but I have a longer length here. So again, if you do have a short facing, like I explained originally, this may be the same length. So if your facing went all the way to the shoulder into the armhole, so what you would do, if I had a proper lining in here, the lining would be attached and it would include the rest of the shoulder. So I would be able to match it from the armhole here. But because I just have a smaller facing, and it's just
we're focusing on the neck and the collar.
Yeah, showing you the collar construction. So I'll just match that up, and I'm just sewing from the edge here. Pivot on the shoulder. I've got a notch there, so again matching the centre back seam on this is my top collar, which is also the facing. And like I said before, all of these, I mean, your back neck should be pretty consistent, should be similar to this, but your collar shapes and angles will be slightly different. So the method's the same, but the shapes might be a little bit different. But again, ask for help if you're not understanding it in regard to your particular design. And you can see there, so it's stitched across. And when I open it
Right.
up, it's gone around the corners there. Okay.
Cool.